Hey there, I'm Colleen Taylor with TechCrunch TV. Joining me via Skype is Michelle Crosby, who's the co-founder and CEO of a startup called Wevorce. Wevorce is a software technology company that's using technology to make the process of going through a divorce a little bit more friendly and a little bit more humane. And so Wevorce just raised $1.7 million in seed funding. So Michelle is joining us to talk about the company. Thanks for joining us, Michelle.
Well, thank you so much for having us.
And just to get started here, what is Wevorce? How does your product make the messy process of getting a divorce any better?
Well, Wevorce is a company that's mission is turning every divorce into an amicable divorce. And the way that we do that is by, we address not only the legal issues, also the emotional and financial issues, so that we're able to support the families on really the three pillars that they need support when they go through a divorce, which is the second most stressful event of their lives. And we're able to provide these services at a cost-effective manner because we're using technology to bring in efficiencies that didn't otherwise exist.
And can you explain to me what the current status quo is like? And I guess your philosophy here is that the process of getting divorced has things inherent in it that make things complicated and make things messy when they don't necessarily need to be, that these are things that can be streamlined by technology. What are these things in the typical divorce?
Well, we live in a day and age where every 13 seconds someone is getting divorced. The existing system takes them through a court process that addresses the legal implications but leaves the family left alone to deal with the emotional realities of co-parenting in two households as they learn to let go of husband and wife and focus on being mom and dad, and also with a lot of the financial concerns of transitioning from one household into two. And in the existing legal system, it starts to force them into a fight. They each hire lawyers, they each file paperwork. A stranger may show up at their house and announce that they're getting sued and getting divorced. And that's a rough way to start a co-parenting relationship. And so Wevorce focuses on bringing the family together so that they're getting the same information at the same time. And we really have built a lot of the human experience into what's going on as opposed to focusing only on the legal issues. So we bring in neuroscience and we help manage a lot of the predictable stresses of divorce. And so they get a lot more support in our system.
And how much does this cost? Can you give me some numbers? What does a Wevorce divorce cost, and how does that compare to the average status quo divorce?
Sure. The average cost in this country is $27,000, which is outrageous. That's legal fees alone. And that's not addressing any of the other issues that come along with divorce. So a Wevorce costs about a third of that with our first product that we've rolled out. And so $27,000 for a lawyer, and we're a third of the cost. And each one of our families not only works with an attorney mediator, they're also working with a mediator that has a specialty in child development. And they also work with a mediator that has a background in finance, being a CPA or a certified divorce financial analyst.
Now, how big is your reach right now? I know divorce is kind of a state-by-state thing, and so how many states are you active in now, and what are the expansion plans going forward?
We have 10 offices in California. We have quite a bit of offices in the San Francisco Bay Area and in Peninsula. We're also in Washington State, and we're in Idaho at the moment.
Okay, and the plans for expansion going forward, how quickly do you think you can do that now?
Well, each quarter we plan to double in size. So we'll be heading into Sacramento and LA next, expanding our presence in Washington, Idaho, Oregon. So we'll have the West Coast covered very quickly. We've been contacted from people all across the world, from Denmark to Japan, Canada. So we're working quickly to really develop our scaling process, make sure that we're ready to roll out as quickly as we can.
And I just want to play devil's advocate here, because some people might say, you know, the process of divorce should be difficult. It should be something that people aren't incentivized to go through. It shouldn't be a walk in the park. This is a serious thing for people to do. What do you say to those people who think that the current system is the way that it should be?
Well, the reality is that there are more marriages that end in divorce than stay together. And it's not that we are pro-divorce, we're very pro-family in whatever form that may take. Occasionally our families, with the tools that they learn going through Wevorce, are able to reconcile. So we really focus on how does the family reframe into whatever form that needs to take for them. When there are children involved, you're always mom and dad. And so how you go through that process of letting go of husband and wife makes a huge difference on how you're able to parent. And so for those families that are ready to separate, we want to provide a gentler way for them to do that, to learn tools of how to be successful co-parents, to get through a very difficult transition more gracefully. There is an existing system for those people that want to fight it out, and that exists. What doesn't exist is a standardized process for those families that want to work together to reframe their family.
And last thing here, I know you've kind of gotten into the media game yourself here. You've launched a website that is sort of a content site. What is this all about? Weave Life?
Yes, so we have launched a blog. What we found is that in this topic of divorce, there aren't a lot of helpful resources for families wanting to do it a different way. And so we have just recently launched a Huffington Post style blog called We Life. It's loaded with hundreds of articles from topics ranging from step parenting, which affects 60% of Americans, to thinking about divorce, to how do you talk about divorce with your children. We really wanted to get to the forefront of providing useful content and information for those families going through it to make it easier for them.
Okay, well, Wevorce, We Life. Michelle Crosby, thank you for speaking with us, and keep us posted on the growth going forward.
Well, thanks so much for having us. We will.